What's up, guys? Welcome back. My name is Dan Kathman. Thanks so much for joining me. This is Kathman Studios, and today I'm going to talk about small business content strategy. Run through this a lot with a lot of business owners who don't really know what to do. Sorry that, by the way, this is so short. I'm pretty tall. I just got this. It's my first time doing like a board like this, right? This is super short compared to me. I mean, look, I have to be way back here and I honestly gonna have to bend down to write, but you know, we're trying here. Small business content strategy. I'll give it to you in 7 simple steps. Let's overview them real quick so you kind of get an idea. Number 1 is going to be figure out your ideal customer. This is the most important one, your ideal customer. Now, everything else in here can be completely disregarded. For business, your number 1 thing that you should try to figure out before doing anything, when you talk about strategy or how to market or how to advertise, whether you're doing it on social media or whether you're doing it traditional advertising and marketing, you need to figure out who your ideal customer is. It's very, very important. We'll get into why, but the short version of that is ICP, ideal customer profile. So figure that out. If you don't know, by the way, if you don't know who that is, we'll get into it, but like, who buys from you the most? Who's your most ideal client? Who'd be a dream? Figure that out. You'll start figuring out who your ICP is. This is nerve-wracking. There's people here, by the way. There's people outside in the studio renting the studio right now. So I'm trying to be quiet. It's a little nerve-wracking because I feel like they can hear me. So anyway, all right, number 2, make stuff for them. So number 2 seems obvious, but you make stuff, AKA content, for them. Who's them? Your ideal customer. You see how all this is related back to your ICP, your ideal customer profile? Who's your target market? People say this all the time. Target market, well, we can just, this general like 20s to 60s, men and women. It's like, no. Who is your ideal? Who's like the most, like who are you talking to here? It doesn't have to be like so specific, but it can't be completely general. Number 3 is get their attention. So again, coming back to who, get their attention. How do you get their attention? So businesses, I said it here, businesses need the right views, not millions. Okay? You don't need a lot of views, you just need the right ones. So the number 4 is consistency. So after you figure out, who is my ideal customer, what am I going to make for them, you start making it, and you got to start doing that on a consistent basis. I'm talking at least 30 days. More likely, it's going to be more like 90 days. You're looking at a longevity, 6 months, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, like in it for the long haul. Now, I'll get into like how you can adjust as you go, but consistency is going to be your friend here. So I'm going to underline it. Consistency, and here's why. Because the algorithm on whatever platform you're on and your audience, your ICP, will start to notice you, understand you, learn you, and they'll start to trust you. Okay? Content marketing is about gaining trust. It's about getting people's attention, getting them to follow you, and that just takes time, repetition. Not just for all, obviously it's for the algorithm, it's for your audience to understand, figuring out what's his page about, what's his business about, but really, it's also for you to figure out what are you giving the world here? What are you doing? Number 5, this creates inbound marketing. So a lot of you heard about inbound marketing. Inbound, the word inbound literally means they come in. So you're attracting people to you. Outbound is like paying to get in front of people. We do that. A commercial on TV is outbound. You are literally paying to be in front of people. Inbound means they're coming in. So you're creating stuff and they're coming to you, right? You're attracting them. There's a lot of different ways to do that. We can get into it, but that's just what all this does is it creates inbound marketing, people coming to you. How that works in social media, that means they'll DMs. By the way, if you're a business owner, treat your DMs like it's a sales funnel. This is where all of your sales are going to come. They're going to come to the DMs of whatever platform you're on. That comes in engagement, and it comes into eventually, ideally, buying. Number 6, we're going to continue to solve a problem. The whole idea is to figure out who your ideal customer is because you want to solve a problem for them. That's what your business does, right? Business, I'll write it right here. Business solves problems. Business solves problems. Usually, particularly one, for generally one person to start. So you're going to continue to solve that problem for them for free online in some way, shape, or form. Solve that problem for them. Ideally, you find one that you're good at, a platform that you're good at, and you're going to solve that for your ideal customer. Again, this is for ICP. We're always coming back to number 1. And then, of course, you get leads from that. They DM you. That's a direct lead. They comment that they're interested. There's a lot of different ways they can do this, but you get leads, you close sales, and then you repeat. This may seem complicated, but it's actually pretty easy. We're going to get into it right after these messages. I'm kidding. No, there's no messages. Let's go to number 1. Hopefully this doesn't fall. All right, it didn't. Cool. Number 1, probably the most important, ideal customer. Ideal. So this is a conversation for you like in your business. I've had a conversation like recently, like a couple days ago, with a business owner, and I just asked them because they're looking to inquire about our services of making content and marketing for them and helping them grow and get leads and stuff online, all that stuff. I asked them what their ideal customer is. They had no idea. Okay, well, who buys from you the most? Had no clue. Okay, well, like, is it businesses or is it people? Well, don't worry about the businesses. Okay, so you're working about consumers. So generally, most businesses, you're either a B2B, business to business, or a B2C, business to consumer. So consumer could be the everyday person buying a product on Amazon. A business is buying a service. Like we're a B2B, like my business primarily works with other businesses. So a lot of people, businesses particularly, don't know. I'm talking, this business is pretty successful. A lot of people won't know who their ideal customer is. So if you don't know who it is, see if you can figure it out. Who buys from you the most? And if you don't know that, or you don't have those data points because you're so early on, you don't really know, or it's very sporadic and there's no one set person, my question would be literally think about the word ideal. Who would be ideal? This person, oh my gosh, this would be the best scenario possible. Like they pay the most money, they don't bitch and complain, like whatever it is, like they don't need that much to close. They already know, like, and trust you. Like they're like, yeah, here's the 50 grand. Okay, cool, here's 150. Whatever it is, money sent, no problems. What is your ideal customer? And you start to kind of figure out who that is. This is very important. Figure out who this person is. So ideal customer, it's going to be questions that you can ask yourself. Question you could ask is, what problem does your business solve? What problem does your business solve? Most businesses are in business because they solve some sort of problem, right? So even if you're in entertainment, you're solving a boredom problem. You're solving an entertainment issue. People they don't want to stare at the wall. They want to be entertained. So you're solving a problem for them. You're filling their time. You're helping them escape. You're bringing them laughter, bringing them joy. Like anything can be solving a problem. You don't need to be like, here's a tool to solve a problem. It could be anything. The next question might be, who's it for? This kind of gets you to this up here. Who is it for? And it's kind of hard for some people to figure this out because, like, certain things, like, let's use an example as a real estate agent. Real estate agent, they can sell to everybody and anybody, right? Generally, it's people who want to buy a house or people who want to sell their house, or people who want to buy a commercial building, or people who want to sell a commercial building. So already right there, you're like, oh, okay. So it's not everybody. It's generally these types of people. And if you want to get more specific, which I would recommend, is you figure out who would be my ideal customer. So let's take real estate for an example. They can sell to anybody, right? But who would be my ideal customer? What would be the best deal for me that I would like? Well, a lot of times, you sell to people like you. So that's something to look for, is like, who might be my friend? Who would I get along with? So question is, who would I like? Who would you like? Who would you want to do business with? Who do you want? Who would you want to do business with? This is a really important question. I'm gonna harp on this a little bit, because everything that you do is dependent on figuring out who you're doing it for. Not just content. Let's get out of, doing marketing and advertising and all this. Your business. This is a business question. This is like if you're not doing well in business, it might be because you don't know who the hell you're selling to. Okay? If you have no idea who, then it's really hard to give them what, right? So who would you like? Who do you want? Start asking yourself these types of questions. And you might get more specific to where you might then refine what you sell. So this is actually pretty cool, because you start to try to figure out, who could I make content for? And you're like, well, maybe I should sell these people. So say you're a realtor, and instead of going after everybody, you might be like, I really would love to get into commercial real estate a lot more. Okay, cool. I have this one deal with this apartment complex, and it's a pretty cool deal where, they need to be on MLS. I'm talking shop here, but they need to be on the platforms where they can get onto every single listing, and they don't have anybody. They want to give it to me, and they want me to negotiate, do all this stuff. Anyway, so you start to think like, that would be ideal to get clients like this, because they have tons of units. Maybe 140 units per apartment complex. And a lot of them need to be on these other platforms, and they need help with the, agents that bring them in. Do we give a commission? What do we do? How do we get on Zillow and all these other things? Whatever it is. And that might be a better bet for me, because instead of having to get hundreds of clients, I got to get a few. Because if I get a contract with them, I got a year or two with them. And I got all these units that can help them sell, right? And so that's kind of one client with a bunch of different opportunities to make more money, more bang for your buck. And so that would be something to where you're like, my ideal customer might be apartment buildings. So wouldn't it be easier if you were, say, this realtor, to figure out a strategy on how to sell to your ideal customer if you knew who they were? Because wouldn't selling to an apartment complex be much different than selling to a first-time new home buyer? A 22-year-old kid who knows nothing about anything and doesn't even know what money is and thinks that everyone makes $750,000 a year? Compared to the business owner who owns 18 different properties in your area, and they're looking for a realtor to help them sell those said properties. Maybe not sell, maybe they're looking to lease. They're buying and holding, they have it forever. And that could be an ongoing client for you forever. But wouldn't you market to them differently? Let's say you market to, okay, you got one, we got a kid, and two, business owner. So one, you got a kid, let's say they're just turned 22 years old. And two, you got a business owner, let's say they're 45 years old. Do you think they're different? Do you think that you would market the same to them? Do you think you'd even sell the same thing to them? No, you're not going to. You wouldn't even sell the same thing. This one's going to want, for going this example, this one's going to want a first-time home, and this one's going to want you to help manage their property and get more and more sales and leads. That's what they want from you. Two different things, two different customers. Which one's your ideal? Because if you figure out who, your what becomes way easier. If you figure out your who, how you get them becomes a lot more clear. Again, this isn't just about this isn't about just content. This is really strategy. This is about business. If you figure out your ideal customer, helps your business. If you figure out who you're selling to, this will help your business. So if you don't make content, if you don't do any marketing or watch the rest of this video and you're a business owner, please let me help you figure this out. Your ideal customer will help your business. If you don't study business, you haven't read a lot of stuff and you don't really know, every big business generally started with one customer in mind. Amazon started selling books exclusively online. Facebook started for college kids. There's a ton of other examples that I can't think of right now, but they all started with one person in mind first. They figured out who their ideal customer was, because guess what that does? It helped their business from the start. So, and then they went in to expand it after they got to a certain level. But first, they figured out who they were talking to. All right, so figure out your ideal customer. I don't know how else to explain it, that it's super important. But if you don't do this, you're dead in the water. This is for business. This is for your business. Figure it out. It's very important. All right. All right, number 2 is study your niche. All right. So this is really important, I think, for many reasons, but the main one being that if you study your niche, you won't be guessing. You'll know. So it does require quite a bit of work, and a lot of times it's something an agency might do for you if they're good. They might study your niche. So your niche is, what is your business niche? So mine, top of line, like main thing. And that might not be exactly, what you say you do. Whatever yours is, figure out what is your niche, and then make a list of different things that are related to what your company does. Then what I would do is I would study what's already working. So instead of guessing or doing trends or jumping on, well, we're going to do a little dance on TikTok because it does well, that's not going to really bring you in any business. What you should do is find other people in your niche and see what's already working. First thing you could do is go to TikTok. Okay? I want to say talk. TikTok, IG, and YouTube. Okay, this is your first step. I'll go into it in a little bit more. You can do Google, Quora, and ChatGPT. Okay, now my handwriting is terrible right now, but I'll give one more after this. But first thing you can do is go to TikTok, IG, and YouTube. Primarily, I would focus on the easiest ones to find stuff like this is going to be TikTok and Instagram. Go to the search bar, search your niche, and then start looking through the content. You can sort by most popular, most likes, whatever it is, and start finding the outliers. Which one have the most views in your niche, and start studying them. Maybe make an Excel sheet. That's what I do. And you start studying like what is working, why is it working? What's their hook? You looked at that. Hook. First 3 seconds of the video. What is it? Why are people staying? Then you can look at style. What type of video is it? Is someone talking? Is someone doing an informational thing like this? Is someone showing you like stuff that's going on? Is it really high end? Is it just with their phone? What's going on? What kind of video is it? And then you can start to figure out, that says script. Script. What are they saying? What's being said? Figure that out. Start figuring out like, why does this video work? Your win is why. And you want to figure out the outliers. So ones, generally, you want to look at ones that 5x, 10x that creator's normal views. So some of these may have 1 million views, and that creator normally gets 500 views. So, or even if it's 500 views of what they normally get, and they got 25,000 on this one, that's an outlier. Okay, so you're looking for outliers. We're going to study them. How many views they got? What are their calls to action? What's their hooks? Main thing you want to look at is hook and their style. That'll help you a lot. What's the first few things they're saying, and then what kind of style video it is? That'll help you out on what actually is performing well. Start making a little list of like, to help you, like what they say, all that. It is a lot of work, but it does really help you. Another way you can do it is go to Google. Go to Google, and there's a couple others you can do. Like, there's another one. Hold on, let me write this. Ask the Public. So you want to go to sites like Ask the Public, Google Search, Quora, and ChatGPT. You can go in and you can find out what people are already searching in your niche. What are they asking? What are the questions? You can actually find probably 30 or so questions by just clicking into Google search to find what are people asking about your niche, yours. What are people asking? Quora, and this is where people literally ask questions, and you can filter it by like top questions and then start looking at them. Start writing those questions down. It's your niche, it's your business. What are they asking? You could answer it. You can also ask ChatGPT to do it for you. And then you go to places like Ask the Public and more to find out top searches in your niche. And you can start with your main niche, number one, and then you can do the same for your sub niches, which might be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, who knows? But you can do that for each one of these. And then I got you one more here. Here's an added bonus. Go to the comments. So find some of these popular videos or popular creators within your niche. Go to some of their popular videos, go to the comments section, look for the ones that are overperforming, gets lots of engagement, lots of likes on whatever. Look for questions. Questions. That's content right there. So what you can do is you can go to these popular videos, look in the comment section, find the comments. It's the button that says comments or a little bubble, and then look for the most engaged questions and start putting those questions in your little Excel sheet that you're making. Then you can make a video that's just Q&A. So that's really all the video would be you doing a vertical video. You can do it on your phone, you do it on a big camera, you can do whatever you want, but you could literally take this question and that be your hook. So remember when I said hook? So we're gonna hook them. This is your hook. The question is your hook. What is content creation? And the body of it will be your video. That's all it is. You can literally find the question. Lots of people will search for this question, and you, in the top of your video, you say, you ask the question, what is content marketing? And then in your video, you answer the question. Do it under 60 seconds, and you can have endless supply of content where people will probably find you because they're searching for that question. And your business answers it because that's what your business does. All right, so study your niche. Figure out what's working. The whole goal, the entire goal, I'm gonna write this in blue down here. Figure out what's working. That looks like terrible, but the goal is to figure out what is working already so you're not guessing, all right? Be ideal if you didn't just gamble everything. Number 3 is pretty simple. Now that you've done all the work, this pretty much makes sense, right? Your goal is to make content for them. So you know who you're making it for. You studied your niche. You studied all the questions and types of videos that do well within your sector. Now you're just going to make content for them. Ta-da! I don't feel like I need to write anything. This blank page is your content. That's what it is. So what you're going to do is figure out the ideal customer, study the niche, make stuff for them. So this can be in the form of, let's say, it's going to be videos, it's going to be photos, it's going to be audio, it's going to be written, it's going to be in person. So these are the main ways you can communicate to people online, right? You got videos, photos, audio, written, and in person. I'll add even one more just to make it interesting. Sorry I interrupted. Someone came in to talk about something that's irrelevant. I'm kidding. Make content for them. The ways in which you can do it is videos, photos, audio, written, in person, or I'll say graphics. Any way you can communicate to somebody online, right? That is the literal ways of communication. And then of course you can do in person, but I would recommend if you do something in person, like a training, for instance, record it so that you can use it for online as well. So how do you make content? Well, what types of content can you make? Well, you want to do this for your ideal customer, and you can do one of the following. You can entertain them. Very popular. Movies, TV shows, they all do it. And they all make money through ads. And you buy tickets to see it. It's a big way to do it, but if you can figure out a way to entertain your ideal customer, you could probably have a huge business. So entertain. And this marker is not ideal. Educate. I'm not used to it. They're just so big. They're called king size. That'd be cool. It's kind of fun. Anyway, educate them. So kind of like this. I'm educating. You might be my ideal customer. You can educate them and do it for them, not for you. So a lot of times I'll see businesses that basically only make content that is for other businesses exactly like them. Kind of interesting to figure out who your ideal customer is, because then you can make educational content for them. All right? Motivate and inspire. So this is basically, I mean, good Lord, there's so many examples of this, but motivational speakers do really well. Pastors do really well. Churches, you know, they are inspiring you. They are motivating you. And they're all talking to their ideal customer. Whether it's your ideal customer, whether it's your ideal viewer, whether it's your ideal fellowship partner, whether it's your ideal person that you want to come to your church, whether it's your ideal person that you want to help in their particular situation, to motivate them, to inspire them, to help them. And maybe you're a self-help coach. Maybe you write books that are in the self-development, you know, all makes sense. But if you can also inspire and motivate your target audience, or you can include this in your whole makeup, you will do really, really well as well. So this is a really big one. Motivate and inspire them. And the other one, you can inform them. So this is information. Information like news. So news is informative, supposed to be. That's the purpose of it, is to inform you, right? So if you can inform your ideal customer, you're gonna have a pretty good shot at gaining their trust after a while, right? It's a little bit different than educating. Educating is teaching. Informing is kind of just telling, like, here's what happened, or here's exactly the facts and the stats, and here's my recounts of this event. It's a little bit different, similar to education, but just a little bit different. Like the news, for instance, doesn't educate anybody, but Bill Nye the Science Guy tries to educate people. Entertain, educate, inspire, and inform. And over here, you can do that through videos, photos, audio, written, graphics, or in person, however you choose. So, and all these can be different things, by the way. So written can be a blog, it can be a PDF that you give, it can be a book, audio can be just a podcast or something that they listen to. You know, all these things. The graphics can be created, and of course, all different types of graphics now that you can make. Photos can be carousel on Instagram instead of just like one particular photo. It can be a story on Instagram. Videos can be a YouTube video like this, a shorts reel. It can be all types of things. Number 3, make content for them. And again, one more time, I'm gonna tell you, all this, make content for them. Who is them? All this is for your ideal customer. All right? Make stuff in these ways for them. Make stuff in these ways for them. So hopefully this helps. All right, number 4. All right, so you want to stay consistent and then adapt as you go. All right, so you figured out who your ideal customer is, you figured out what works in your niche, and you figured out how to make stuff for them. Hopefully you started doing it, keep doing it, stay consistent, and adapt as you go. So what adapt as you go means is what it sounds like. So instead of waiting until you figure it exactly out, you should start making the stuff, see what works. All right. So the reason why you got to stay consistent is because after a while, the audience will catch on. You may not have any followers, but the algorithm will catch on to who you're making it for. It'll know how to place you. That's why finding your ideal customer, your ideal viewer, your ideal audience is so important, because if you continually make stuff for them, the algorithm, which is pretty smart, will figure out, oh, this is probably for these people. So I'm going to push it out to people like this. And then people who don't know you will start getting stuff from you and then start to figure out who you are. It does take time though. And content marketing and marketing in general is a long game. It's not a short game. Short game is like advertising. I want to pay money and I want to see return. I pay 10, I get 15, I'll do it all day. Marketing is the way you get there. Okay? So the way you get there is through marketing, and it's going to take a little bit more time because then you can make those accurate decisions on advertising that you won't waste your money and you will actually make more than you spend. Content marketing is what all this leads to, and adapt as you go. So figure out what works. This is a really good idea for, and I'll make it in red here, online ads. So the way that things used to go is basically you would put all your money into an advertisement. You're going to make it for TV, you're going to make it for print, you're going to make a billboard, you're going to do whatever. I've made billboards, I've done TV, I've done all that before. And I'm telling you, this is how it used to go, traditional, and it still does, still happens. It's just not the best bang for your buck, and people are still doing it. It's okay. But the problem is you have all these executives and people making a decision on a 30-second commercial, and no one is creative on that end. And also, you're betting the whole house on one deal, which is pretty tough to do because a lot of these like bigger commercials and stuff, you know, even a local regional commercial, say for like Publix, is like $250,000. It's like a, you know, 100-person set. You know, they got 18-wheelers of grip trucks and 100 people. Like you're talking about people being flown in from all over for this one 30-second commercial that's going to be on TV that may or may not perform well. But they're spending a lot of money to figure that out. And they have all these, in that they have like these like rooms, like let's do a test and let's figure out what these certain people think. But it's basically to try to get insight before they do it. They're going to have like little meetings like, do you like this? Why don't you like this? Oh, you don't think so. Oh, you don't like that? Oh, you don't like his face. Oh, okay. So you don't like his face. That's why you don't like this ad. You don't like what he says. Okay. And they do this all in like private rooms and stuff. The current way that works best to do this, so you're going to do post content first to figure out what works. So you post all this content and then you're going to wait. You're going to post content, wait, post more content, continue the process. So you're going to wait to see what performs. Which one overperforms? The reason why I say wait is like say we make videos for you and we give you all the videos for your month. Say it's like, let's say it's like once a week and you post them all on the same day. Don't do that. Wait. Post one, wait. Now, if you got a lot of content, if you got 300 pieces of content you're trying to get out, and of course you can post like 3 times, 4 times a day, main page, and you can post stories, you can do posts across platforms, you do all kinds of stuff. But that's probably costing you a lot of money, and I mean a lot. Post more content, wait, and then which overperforms? Here comes a surprise. The overperformer becomes your ad. So you're no longer guessing. A lot of times, again, we'd had these groups where we would decide on this may work, this may not work. You'll send, like for instance, like a company like mine might send it to the client and be like, dude, what do you think? And I still have these conversations. What do you think? And they're like, well, we got to make some changes. I don't like that song. I don't like this. I don't like that. Okay, let's go back. Let's go do it again. We'll do it again. We'll have to charge for re-edits, and then we're going to send it back. Well, what do you think? Hopefully this works. Well, Bobby thinks that this is offensive, and Kelly, who's a janitor, thinks that this sucks. You know, it's just like, okay, you get all these opinions from people who don't really know anything about anything, and you just reiterate and reiterate and reiterate, and then you post, and for some reason, it doesn't work. Surprise. So you post all the content, and the ones that you want, of course, and then you look to what the market says. This is the market, okay? This is the market. What does the market say? The market, when the ones that overperform, the market is saying, we like that one. Cool. So the market told me that's going to be my ad. Okay, so this is the one you put money behind. Okay, so you made content, you posted, you waited, you posted, you waited, and now you got a good view scope of like which one did better. Now they don't need to do millions of views, they need to do better than the rest. So even if you have very small no numbers, say, let's use easy numbers like 10. Say you normally get 10 views, you get no views at all, and this video got 100 views. That's 10x what our normal view count is. Fantastic. That's probably a winner. Let's put money behind that. The content fuels the ads, and the ads come from the content. That's the best way to do it. Now, of course, you can go straight to ads, but you will have no data from the market to know if it's going to perform well. So you might be wasting money. You won't, might be, you will be. You can literally post it, and then post different variations of it even, and more different types of videos and more different types of, go back to here, your content might be, it might be videos. It might be photos. It might be something written. It might be a graphic. It might be a podcast. It also might entertain them. It might educate them. It might, let's say over here, inspire them. It might inform them. You don't care. You tried a bunch of different things. You did it strategically, right? Because you know who you're doing it for. You know what works in that niche. Now you're trying stuff, which is over here. Now you're trying stuff, you're staying consistent, you're trying, you're adapting as you go, so you're seeing out of that what works. Now you're trying stuff, and you're doing content marketing, you're posting and waiting, and the market tells you that this one overperformed, so you're going to put money behind that, and that's how you get your ads to funnel people back to your business. The ads go to your business. Goes to your business. The market goes to your business. This content you posted one time goes to your business. Post those content you did again, guess where it goes? Goes to your business. The overperformer. Oh my God, the market said this. Where'd it come from? It came from your business. So even the ones that you don't pay money behind, each one of these is for your business. Okay? So all this is working for you. Just may take a little time. Now, stay consistent. Make content. What does this all lead to? Inbound marketing. So inbound means people are coming to you. So here's you. And you have people coming to you. Let's just make it even. Okay? Outbound. I'll write that just for you to understand. Okay? Outbound is going to be you going to them. All right? So inbound, they come to you. Outbound, you go to them. Let's talk about some examples real quick. So inbound marketing means you make stuff for people and they come to you. Let's say content. So you make content, you make a post, you share it, they then find you. Let's say this is social. Let's say this is a referral comes to you or somebody else. You didn't go get them, they came to you. Pretty cool. Content, social, they come to you. Let's do an example for outbound. Outbound, paid ads. So you're going to pay to be in front of somebody. Okay, so that means you are going out and I'm going to try to get you to come to me. Let's do another one. That says cold. Cold outreach. So cold calling, cold DMing, cold emailing, whatever it is, you are going to them. All right. So that's kind of an example of you going out and trying to get business. Not always as effective, as many of us know. because they're not coming to you, you're going to them. So what all this does is create the ideal inbound marketing, which, as you know, gives you the power most of the time, right? And makes a lot better situation because then they feel like they found you. I found you. It makes it seem like it's their idea. You know how good that is in sales to make somebody feel like it was their idea? Hugely effective. The reason being is because they did it. It was their choice to find you. When you go to them, you found them. The roles were reversed. So the whole point of this is to create stuff for them to find you. And then the outbound is you are then pushing stuff out to get to them. All right. Number 6 is solve a problem for your ideal customer. Again, we're coming back to this. I'm going to do red. If you don't know who your ideal customer is, none of this matters. Okay. None of it matters. You're going to have a really tough time. You're never really going to see big growth online. You may not even see that much big growth in your business because you don't know who the hell you're selling to. Figure out who your ideal customer is, because then once you know who your ideal customer is, let's do this. Your ideal customer has a problem. They have a problem. Your company solves that problem, right? So you got an ideal customer, they have a problem, and then your company solves that problem. Pretty much basics, right? Your company solves a problem for somebody, right? So in this example, it's pretty easy to understand. What you want to do is say, how would I do this? So this is basically your business has an ideal customer. They have a problem. You solve it. Pretty simple. In your content, you want to do the same thing. Your audience, your target, your ideal customer, they have a problem. Your company, page, or channel solves that problem. This video is going on longer than I thought. So ideally, you want your content to do the same that your business does. So what I would recommend is in your content, I would give away the how and sell the implementation. So you can give away the how. If you're a mechanic, if you go in a car shop, you should give away how to do it. You should make content teaching people how to change a tire, how to change your oil. They don't want to do it, but guess what? It's nice to know in a pinch, or it might attract me to you, but also I'm be like, hey, Ed at the AAA up the street showed me how to really kind of figure out what that clicking sound was, and I think he probably would know, so I'm going to take it to him. Give away the how, sell the implementation. All right? All right, so finally we have your business as the back end. There's one more bonus behind it, but this is what it's all about, okay? I know, it's talking about content, social media. I know creators who have millions of followers, millions of views, and they're broke because they rely only on views and sponsorships to make a living, which is great, especially if you have tons. And if you're doing really well on short form content, this can be very lucrative for you. And it's a great source, right? But they have no business model on the back end. They can't make the buku money. And I know people with, hardly any followers. And their main source of lead gen is content online. And they are doing crazy numbers. Their businesses are doing 6 figures a month. They are doing fantastic. Some of them like 7 figures. It's incredible. But even on a lower end, like they're doing great numbers with not that many followers or views or anything like that, because they followed this kind of system. They found out who their ideal customer is, and they made stuff for them and they attracted them, which led to inbound marketing, which led to them solving that problem for them and led to leads and sales. So the reason why this works so well is because your business is the back end. You're literally making stuff. How do you make money online? Well, if you make stuff for a certain person, you find your ideal client, hey, come on down, and they like you, they trust you, you're helping them in some way, shape, or form solve a problem, and then what do you know? There's your business, there's your website, there's your DMs. I can DM, hey, does your company do this? Yes, in fact, we do. All the time. Your business is the back end. You have an advantage that a lot of big creators don't have an advantage of. They don't understand business. They don't know how to build a business. You spend all this time figuring out how to run and start and have a successful business. They don't. So your business is the back end. All right? I'll use myself as an example. A couple examples. I had a video get 24 likes and I got a client from it. And then another one with similar amount of likes, not a lot of views. Likes is like in the 20s, not 200s, not 2000s, not 200,000s, not 2 million, 20. And I got all the way to the very end, to the CEO. They're making decisions, sending proposal and an invoice from one piece of content, okay? It didn't perform well. I got less than 20 likes, I think. Back in the day, I had a YouTube video, probably like this, that got 2 views. And one of them became a client. I know because I asked them. This was early on. This was 2016 or whatever. And I said, how did you hear about me? He said, I saw your YouTube channel. I'm like, my YouTube channel? At the time, I had like 100 or so. I said, what video? And he told me, and I went and looked. It had 2 views. And I even asked like a second or third time, I said, do you mean this video? He's like, yeah. So 1 out of those 2 views, and I'm saying views, people, not likes, comments, shares, and oh my gosh, 2 views, 1 of them became a client. And that is the advantage of having a business on the back end. You don't need millions. Millions. No. You don't need top creator. No. Be famous? No. You don't need any of that shit. You just need the right views. You need the right people coming to you, and that is very important because if you know who you're talking to, your ideal customer, you can make content for them, and then eventually your views become the right views. And then just like me, 2 views could mean 1 sale. 20 likes could equal a big contract. At least the opportunity. I take it as a win. What you're looking for is leads. You're looking for potential sales. The close is more about selling than anything. You're looking in marketing and advertising, you're looking for the opportunity to get to a client. That's what you really want. I mean, talking about closing is a sales issue. Yes, that didn't work out, but not because the content sucked. I got all the way to the finish line. I just didn't close. That's on me as a salesman or whoever I hired to do it. You know what I mean? Whoever you hired to do it. That's on them. And also it could be extraneous circumstances. You can't always blame the salesman or the situation. It could have been the best deal of all time. It just wasn't exactly right for them. They don't really know what they're doing yet. They need much more hand-holding that maybe you're not ready to do yet. But that's where this comes in, okay? So if you got a business on the back end, you don't need millions of views, you don't need to be famous, you just need the right views. And that can mean 2 of those views equals 1 client. That means 20 likes could equal huge contract. That means whenever you get, say, 50K views, 50,000 views that are the right views, this is probably viral for you, but it's not millions, you're not famous. Oops. You're not famous, you're not a top creator, but if you get 50,000 of the right views, what does that mean for you? My goodness, can you imagine? Can you imagine getting in front of the exact right customer for your business? And you got a room I mean, that's a stadium. You got a stadium of 50,000 people who are the right views. They are your ICP. That's going to lead to big opportunity and lots of leads. And if you're any good, lots of sales. So that's why all this is so very, very important, to try to get the right views. All right, let's review. This has been your business content strategy. Okay, here is the formula one more time broken down. Number one, define your target market. Who is your ideal customer, your ICP? The most important, if you don't figure this out, don't do anything else. Spend the most time figuring this out, because even if you don't make content, it's going to have the best ROI for your business. Number two, research your niche. What's working? Instead of guessing on trends and I'm going to do a dance on TikTok, what's working in your niche? This may take 10, 20, 40 hours. And I would recommend using an Excel sheet and actually documenting this so you can look back on it. This is going to have the best ROI for your content, because then you're really going to know what works and you have a real good idea of what to do. And you're not going to be guessing the whole time. Number three, create that content for your ideal customer. Number four, post consistently. So continue to post. And if you want to run ads, post, see what works. And then the winner that the market decides, that's going to be your ad. Continue posting content, because they're going to come to your page and try to see what you're about. And if you have a whole bunch of content that's directed at them, they're going to follow you, they're going to like you, and they're probably going to buy from you. Number five is get leads. So this is inbound marketing. What all this is for, to get people to come to you so you don't go to them. And that is going to get leads. If you're any good, you're going to close sales, continue the process, repeat. Okay? One more time. Define your target. Research your niche. Create content for them. Post consistently. Get the leads. Close the sales. Repeat the process. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, my name is Dan Kaplan. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I know this is all new, but this is a long video for me. I'm sweating. I'm tired. It's Sunday. I gotta get out of here. But hopefully this helps you. It wasn't terrible. If you did, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought, because if you like this, I might do it again. Maybe better, because it's my first time. I feel like the first time I did stand-up, it's like, all right, I did it. I did it. All right. Whew. Thank you. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.